In a peaceful village surrounded by rolling hills, a young man named Ethan had a mind full of shifting ambitions. One month, he planned to build a completely new business from scratch. The next, he was determined to master a complex new skill. But Ethan had a specific behavioral flaw. The moment a new idea took shape, he felt a compulsive need to share it. He pitched his plans at the busy marketplace, discussed them at family gatherings, and stopped neighbors in the street to detail his latest vision. At first, his neighbors listened politely, but as the months went by and the announcements continued, those polite nods inevitably devolved into probing, cynical questions. The crowd began demanding details he simply hadn't figured out yet. "What exactly happens when you fail?" they would ask. "Why not choose a safer, more realistic path?" This chart tracks the internal mechanics of sharing an idea too soon. When you publicly announce a goal, the bright line representing validation spikes. You get the immediate reward of the village's praise. But look at the darker line, your actual drive to execute the work. It drops in direct response to that early applause. The addition of the village's skepticism makes this crash even worse. As external doubt strikes that declining motivation, the drive to actually do the work is forced all the way to zero. Ethan's initial confidence was replaced by hesitation. By exposing his fragile, early-stage ideas to the public square, Ethan created a toxic environment, starving his own goals of the energy they needed before they could even take root. Defeated and exhausted by this cycle, Ethan walked to the quiet edge of the village at sunset. He found Thomas, an old farmer, working alone in the dirt. He sat down and finally voiced his breaking point. He demanded to know why his motivation to follow through on a plan always evaporated so quickly. Thomas ignored the panic in Ethan's voice. Instead, he kept his focus entirely on his hands, gently pushing dark, rich soil over a single seed, burying it in complete darkness. Without looking up, the farmer asked a single question. What would happen if he dug up that seed every single morning, just to show the village how well it was growing? Ethan watched the soil for a long moment, the logic of the question sinking in. If that seed was pulled into the light every day, it would never have the chance to grow. The exposure alone would kill it. True growth requires a mandatory, extended period of silence and invisibility beneath the surface. If a seed required a round of applause before it could become a tree, forests simply would not exist. For the first time, Ethan understood why his goals never matured. When the sun came up the next morning, he didn't head to the marketplace. He didn't seek out a crowd. He simply went to work. He implemented a new personal protocol. There would be no more announcements of new ideas, and zero requests for approval before taking action. While the rest of the village continued to talk, debate, and doubt, Ethan retreated into the shadows. He spent his hours quietly learning and practicing. He stopped waiting for the perfect moment or the ideal audience. He simply focused on taking small, continuous steps forward, day after day. Working in silence acted as a shield. It kept his goals safe from the friction of outside opinions, while he built the internal strength required to actually finish what he started. Years passed. Removed from the public eye, those quiet, continuous efforts accumulated into undeniable progress. The exact same villagers who had once mocked his unformed ideas now stared at his accomplishments in awe, completely confused as to how he had managed to come so far. But Ethan remained unfazed by their praise. He understood that the true value of any ambition is found in the silent process of building it, not the eventual applause of the crowd. This forest didn't exist when Ethan first sat in the dirt with Thomas, but years later, he returned to this same field to find the tiny seeds had become mature trees, with trunks that barely moved in the wind. Looking up at the massive branches, Thomas pointed out the architecture of their strength. The most vital, unbreakable parts of those trees were the roots that no one would ever see. Not every dream needs an audience. Work quietly, grow patiently, and let the undeniable reality of your results speak much louder than any plan you could ever announce.